Hello and welcome to Crafting with Jane. Today I am making some ATCs, which are artist trading cards. They're little cards which are 3.5 inches by 2.5 inches, and you swap and trade them with other people. So I have somebody who is, oh, that looks a bit, I don't think that's quite right on that one. I've got a group which I belong to where we swap ATCs with different people from around the world once a month, and this is with All and Create, and is with Tracy Evans' Facebook group, who is one of the artists. So I'm just looking to see this because I think that this is going to be too long. I don't think it's 3.5, so I'm just cutting it down because I obviously went and just took that off just a bit. So I'm just, while I'm nattering, so yeah, so I'm part of this group, and once a month we have a theme, and we do these swaps. So I thought I would let you, I saw I did the other ones last month with Indigo Blue because I'm part of that group as well. So this month is with All and Create and Tracy Evans stamps. So I've done 2 because they do take a little while, and I thought I'd show you those. So I've done this one. Now this one is with this lovely acorn stamp, which is, let me find it. I bought quite a few of these little tiny ones because they were on sale. And this is number 979, and it's called Garden Times. So it's got this lovely acorn on it. And so what I did was I created my backgrounds first of all, and I just did an A4 sheet and just moistened it and then dropped different colours of paint. So we've got some red and some orange and some yellow, little bit of brusho, and just sort of played around with it and left it, and it then gave me the background to work with. So this one I stamped it with just with black Versamark, and then the white flower here I coloured that in white pen and then just went over it. And then this one excuse me, was from the hexapetalistic, love that word, which is this one, number 978, and I just cut this little flower out here and then coloured it in the same manner and then put that on the top. And I have put some splatters and things on there, and that was the first one. The second one is using this lovely little stamp here, which is called Leaf is Better. And so I literally just stamped the whole of the stamp, because they're great sizes for ATCs, on the side there, then coloured those pieces in, put the little bird in, and the bird is from, here we go, this one, which is number 908, and it's got this lovely little bird, which I really like because the bird can sit literally just sort of positioned on anything you really want. So again, I just put some splatters on to give it a little bit of definition. So that's the first 2. So I thought we would work on number 3 and maybe number 4, depending how long it's going to be. So first of all, I have taken this stamp, which is from number 564, which is called Key Botanicals. And I wanted to have this one because I thought that that would work quite nicely right the way over here. So you can see these, we've got more colour in some areas, not as much colour in others. I think that one actually. So I am going to ink it up in VersaFine Onyx Black. And I'll show you a little trick. I obviously use quite thick blocks. You can get thin ones, you can use positioning tools, but if you haven't got either, what I tend to do is, and I'm going to put it on here to just show you. So I'm going to put it on here just a bit straight so I can see where I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this as near to the sort of center as I can, because my camera's in the way. I can't quite see exactly, but I think that's about right. So I'm going to press it down, and then I'm just literally going to slide it from my mat, turn it over, holding my hand down and then rubbing with one hand, put the other hand down, rub with the other hand. And it means that you get, as long as you hold it with one hand so it doesn't slip, it means that you'll get a very, very crisp, clear image. And I find that really easy. And having the paper, it means that if you've got little bits that are over on the side, it's not going to make a mess. And you can see it comes out beautifully then. So that's that one. Just need to clean that off with a cloth. And then I might do another one while we're at it. You can see though that you could have that as sort of a topper of a card and then put other bits and pieces on, so you don't have to. I'm showing this because I'm doing ATCs, but you don't have to do ATCs. You can do whatever you want. So I think that for me that just works out perfectly. So I'm just going to pop this one back in on here so it's in its position so I don't lose it. Now I've got this one. I might do two. So I've got this one on here, and I think I want on here just a background without too much detail. So let's just go. That was the acorn bird art. I think that might be quite nice in on there. I think I'm going to use that one. So this one is number 906 and it's called Art Notes because it's got the word art on it. Now you don't have to. The theme for this month was autumn. So for me, I wanted to just do the colours. You can interpret it however you want, which is rather good. So I've got my acorns, I've got my leaves in the first two. And these ones, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to finish them off yet, because like everything, I get my inspiration as I work. So I quite often don't have a plan. And I think that's quite good for a lot of you that watch my channel, because you like to see the whole process and see what I'm doing. So for me, it works really well because that's how I craft. I'm somebody who will start with a background and then just sort of work my way through. Now you can see this is going to come right the way across. I'm just going to bring it down just a tad so I can hopefully see where I'm putting it. I think that should be about right. So I've pressed it down, and again I'm going to slide it off, turn it over, holding it with one hand, rub with the other, hold with the other hand, rub with the other. Now, if you've got a positioning tool, you can use that. But if you haven't got anything, it's a great way of doing it. And in fact, you don't even need to have a block. If you haven't got a block, you can literally just, let me just take this off so it doesn't smudge. There we go. If you haven't got a block, you can actually use, and I'll show you as I put this away, because I know, you know, I have all sorts of different people watch my channel, from people who've never crafted before and turn around and think, oh my goodness, it's going to cost me an absolute fortune. These stamps I got when they were on sale. I think the sale's probably just coming to an end, but they do sales all the time. And these were only a couple of pounds each. So, you know, they weren't expensive. And they were something that, as I say, I think will work. Just making sure that I get this the right way round. There we go. Okay, but again, if you haven't got a block or anything, you can actually use it on here. So you could ink that up. You could then press that down onto your stamp and then do exactly the same thing, turn it over. So you don't have to have all of the what do you call them, blocks and things like that. You really don't, you can just do it as it is. So let me just put this one away. I know I'm off camera now, but I can't see, I can't do it over here easily. Okay, so that's that one. So we've got two backgrounds in on here. I think I'm probably going to start with this one because it's an easy one, because it's just a background. So I want to add a little bit of definition in colour here. So I have got, let me just take these out of the way so the stamps aren't there. I have got my pencils. As you know, these are the Derwent ink tents. I shall just show you the outside. Okay, so they're Derwent ink tents. I've got 24 of them, and they're absolutely brilliant. They really are. Ink tents means they're very bright, and I've done a swatch, as you know, and so I can then have a look and see the colours. So I'm just going to put it down here, and I'm just going to have a look and go, what colour do I want to tone it in with? I think I'm going to do something a bit different with it. So I'm going to choose this sherbet, which is sort of a yellow. And I'm just going to add some of that in on here. On just the circles that I've got. Now, you can see here, I would normally wait for it to dry a little bit longer, because if you don't leave it to dry, you can get a little bit of smudging going on, because obviously we've got texture and stuff going on there, but it'll be all right for what I'm going to do. Then I need a water brush. So just have a little look. I always do it on the back of my hand. It's quite funny, because then I'll go out and I'll have these sort of yellows and greens and things, and it looks as if I got a terrible bruise. But I'm just going to add a little bit of water on here so it goes through, and you can see I don't want a lot, I just want a little bit of definition, and I don't want it to change the look of it. So I'm not going into a completely abstract colour. You could do if you wanted to, but I want to keep it all sort of, you know, autumnal looking. So just by doing that, you've just brought in a little bit of definition just to those two pieces, and then I can clean it off on the back of my hand. I just take a little bit more in on here. It hasn't quite blended through quite enough. That's better. Okay, so that's that bit on there. Now I have got I've got some little bits and bobs that I want to put in on here. So I've got a little squirrel, because I thought the squirrel might be quite sweet. I probably need to put the squirrel up a bit, don't I? I know he's not really grounded, but I've got these little acorns as well, which is from the set that I was showing you, and I thought, well, I could put those just sort of dotted about. I want a little acorn for him to be holding, so I thought maybe put a little acorn that way up, so my squirrel can be holding an acorn like that. I could actually have him sitting, so it looks as if he's sitting. Let's put him in place to start off with. Should we have him sitting on there, or do I put I've got one of these pens which I cut out, so that would, let's put it that way up. If I put that on there and I put my little squirrel on, yeah, he needs to come a bit lower, I think, so I'll put that at the bottom, and then we'll have the little squirrel sitting on top like that. I could have it so it's a 9, couldn't I? Oh, mind you, the words are going to be the other way around. Don't really want him that side, do I? Because he needs to be sitting on there rather than sitting on this bit, although he could sit there. Not sure on that. I think I might have him sitting on the sentiment. That will be better. So what have I got on here? Create your own magic. That's better. Okay, so I'm going to have this in on here, So let's grab some glue. Have I got some glue? Oh, I might have some glue on the other side. Bear with me 1 second. Just amuse yourself for 2 seconds. Right, I just had my glue on the other side of the room. So I was doing some cutting out and some bits and bobs, and I don't like to have it too much out. So a little bit of glue on here, and we'll have the words. Let's make sure my squirrel is going to sit about there, and my words are going to come about. So that's perfect. So I'm going to put them in there so they come half on there and half off of that. Wait, sliding about all over the place like that. That's perfect. Now I just need little black, that's a fat one. I want the thin ones. Have I got those over on the other desk? I think I might. Bear with me a second, I'm off again. There we go. I was doing something in the... I try and do as much as I can in the daylight, but obviously the nights are drawing in now, so I don't have as much daylight. So I'm using my Posca pens, and I'm just literally going to just do a black edge round here. So that's one. That way. See, I turn it round so that my pen runs along the top edge, and then you don't get the wibbly wobbly bits, which I think work quite well. Now I want to put the squirrel in, and he's going to just sit straight in on top like that. So let's give him, I've already coloured him in, and I've coloured, you can see I used my paper, that things that I've done that I don't like or haven't gone right, I just use the other side. Always 2 sides to a piece of paper. So and I've done grey because most of us, unless you're lucky enough to live in Scotland or the Isle of Wight, most of us have grey squirrels in the UK. We don't have any red squirrels anymore because the grey squirrels came over and ran out the red squirrels, so there's only a few places. There's red squirrels in Scotland, and as I say, there's some over on the Isle of Wight, but there's none in the UK at all, or sorry, in England at all. So I'm going to give him a little, just a little acorn, so he's got one of those. Then I want to put, just to make sure that we have the acorns coming through, I think I'm going to put an acorn in the centre of there. I think that will work. Let's do that in there. And that's going to come just between the two of those. A little stalk can come out the top. And then I've got this little third one, which I'm going to put, I think, down in that corner. Let's put that down in that corner. Now, I'm not doing too many dimensions and things like that because of postage, because obviously all of these things are posted. So that is looking quite good, but we need to just now add some bits to it, and when bits I mean some splatters and things. So I've got black and I've got white. I think white is what I'm going to use. So give it a shake, and if I hold it like this and I take something quite heavy like or sharp like these and I tap it, so I'm holding it really firmly and then just tap it, you will see that you get little white splatters coming out. You probably can't see that as well as I can, but I like the little white spatters like that, and do it all over. Okay, and then I've got the fat one. Now the fat one, if I do that, I end up with big fat splots, and I don't want big fat splots on here. So the easiest way to do this one is to just turn round, and if I hold it, is to just do some random dots, because if you do them randomly, they look as if you've splattered like that. And that ties it all in together. You can see how now that's really sort of tied it in together. So if I bring it up a bit so you can see it closer, you can see how that's tied it in nicely. So now we have 3. So I'm going to put that to one side because it's a bit wet, and let's go on to this one. So we've got these lovely wings here. These wings I did in red and yellow, and I think I'll probably do the same. So I'm choosing, this is poppy red, and then I've got chili red. No, I haven't. I'm going to use the yellow, didn't I? I said I was going to use the yellow. So the yellow is sun yellow. So what I will do is I will take this, the red, and do it from the bottom first and then up in the top here. I want to do it quite nice and red, and then we'll do the same. So you do it on the inside part, which is going to be the darker bit, and then you just do some round on the side there and some on the side of the wings there. I'm not zooming you in because it's not anything that you need to really spend some time to. Then the yellow straight in on the top, and you can see it doesn't look very bright. As soon as you add the water, it becomes really vibrant. So let's just put those back. Take my paint, make sure I've got a little bit of water. I make sure that these have got they haven't got a huge amount of the holes are slightly blocked, if you see what I mean. They're not new ones. I've had them quite a while because I don't want sorry, I'm going quiet. I don't want a lot of water on this because you'll end up warping the card, because I've already used water on it for doing the background, and as you can see, it is just ordinary cardstock. It's not watercolor paper, but it just again shows you don't have to fork out on expensive things. You can just use what you've got and just use, as say, what you've got, and you're absolutely fine. Okay, so that's my butterfly in, and you can see it looks quite bright in on there, which I think is lovely. Now this time I'm looking at bits and pieces that I've got little bits and things that I've got this big bird, and I actually quite like the bird. I might even do the bird sitting on top like that, so it's actually sitting on the butterfly in like that. I quite like that. I don't want to colour him in. The only thing I might colour is his beak, because he's a blackbird, or I think he's a blackbird. So a blackbird would have a yellow beak. So I'm just going to colour in his beak. So that's the only thing that's going to have a little bit of colour in. So I just do that. That just gives the pop that I want. I don't want anything else on there. So he's going to sit in like that. And again, I'm going to stick him completely flat. Now, do I want something on here? Do I want the essence of nature coming in? Not sure. Definitely want the bird stuck there. So let's start with that. Because again, it's all about ideas and building up as you go. So I'm just taking this bird, who's kind of nice, and again he's in one of the small ones. I think I told you which one he was when we went through. So I'm just going to sit him so literally his body comes. I took his legs off because I didn't want his legs coming in. So this, you've got the bird literally sitting up over the top and you've got the butterfly underneath, which I think works quite well. I've got this underneath, haven't I, which is a 5. Have I? Don't know whether I've actually cut out a, yes I have. Now, whoops, throwing half my things over. I've cut out a 5 and I've got that which can come in over the top. But I don't think I need to do that. I think I just need to maybe add a little bit of extra colour in on there. So let's do that in, let's have it in a purple. So this is fuchsia. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of the fuchsia round on the side here. Don't want a lot, and I'm just doing it on one side because the other side I think is fine. And it's just going to add a little bit. I need to just take the, you can see how the back of my hand, and I always do it on there because I can feel when I've got water on there. So I just try to just take a little bit of water, and sometimes it's not very good at all because it doesn't come out. This is getting quite old now, so the nozzle gets a little bit blocked. That's fine. Okay, so I just want a little bit round on here, just to take it round. I don't want too much at all. I just want to colour that in just a little bit. So I've just got that side and the other side is paler. I can just blend it out like that. Okay, now I've got this which is Essence of Nature, which I think is quite nice because I've got each one is slightly different. I don't want the same words on it all. So this one is going to be, in fact I might just have the word nature. We'll see. I'm just going to cut it up and see. I quite like just want the word nature in on here. Yes, I do. Don't want to have too much because these are only ATCs, so you don't want a whole amount of anything. Right, I'm just going to stick that down there. So let me just grab my glue again. And we'll just add a little bit on here. And then that can come in that way. So I want it at an angle because the bird's at an angle, so it sort of draws the line in. Posca pen again, and we're just going to put this in this way. Take it up. As you see, I turn it round each time because I find it easier to run my pen right up tight. Whereas if you are trying to do it against the other side, you can quite easily just get it a bit wibbly wobbly. So there we go. Okay, so that's the word in on there. Just need to clean that little pen in a minute. I will do it. Just clean it off on here. I've got a little bit of glue on and I don't want glue on the side of the pen. So that's that. You can see I use my black and my white more than anything else. Now I'm going to do exactly the same because I'm tying them all in. So I'm going to do the white on this, and I'm just going to take the pen again, take the end of scissors, anything that's sort of hard, and literally just give it a bit of a I do like these little tiny weeny spots. They look quite nice. But as I say, I don't want them with the big ones because the big ones end up being too much. So as I say, that's why I tend to do these like this, because then I can just splitty splot like that, and it looks as if they are splattered and not painted in. So if you're not comfortable with splattering things, you can use splatter brushes and things like that. I've got a fan brush, as you know, which is like that. So again, if you're doing it with paint, you can do it that way. All sorts of different ways of doing it, but I find that this one is probably the easiest. So we now have 4 little ATCs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they've all got a sort of autumnal theme. So you've got your squirrels gathering the nuts for the autumn, you've got the birds literally again gathering things to try and feed up for the winter. You've got the oak leaf and you've got the acorns, so all of an autumnal feel. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well, please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.